Yes, everyone, hello, good morning. Forever United TV here, live, bringing you Manchester United updates off the pitch, which there is plenty of, as you would know, and on the pitch, because this morning, the last few hours, Manchester United crushed Bournemouth to pretty much complete and win the Premier League Summer Series. Uncatchable now, unless Manchester United get absolutely spanked by an horrendous amount of goals by Everton. United have won another trophy on pre-season, so looking good. We're going to get into the game there and what's actually happening with performances and players. Manchester United looking an absolutely different animal altogether when it comes to their intensity and performance. We're going to bring you up to date with all of the Benjamin Sesko news, because there was major updates after our shows last night as well. Before Manchester United kicked off over in the States, updates on Benjamin Sesko, where we're at, where he is at, what Romano said, and everything after that. The price has been set for Benjamin Sesko. Are United going to offer a player in exchange? This has been rumoured and was the talk of the town last night, and Ruben was quizzed on what he thinks of the potential signing of Benjamin Sesko last night or this morning, whichever way you want to say it, if you were still up or not. We'll give you the thoughts on that, because he did hint towards the exit and uncertainty over Rasmus HOJLUND's future. Rasmus, another very good performance in the game this morning as well, so hitting his marks. Maybe a bit of pressure from another striker potentially coming in could mean the world for Rasmus HOJLUND and really change the way that he is playing. He's been very, very good now in 2 games in a row on pre-season. But it is pre-season. We're not getting carried away with this. And this is where I think Ineos and Manchester United and Ruben AMORIM, to that matter, are now going to be judged. Because yes, it's all right with these games that mean nothing. It looks great when there's no pressure on anybody. A different climate, everyone's struggling. Some players probably a little bit fitter than others at this stage of the season. When everyone's on a level playing field, when the chips are down and we're already into a season, is Rasmus going to do the same? And that's a decision that needs to be made by Manchester United. So let's bring you completely up to date with where we're actually at last night, this morning, after the game. Ruben AMORIM talking about Rasmus HOJLUND, in particular about Benjamin Sesko. He kind of alluded to Rasmus HOJLUND off the back of what was asked about Benjamin Sesko. So Ruben AMORIM, and this is what was said last night. Manchester United boss Ruben AMORIM on a potential signing of Benjamin Sesko. I'm really happy with Rasmus HOJLUND. I don't know what is going to happen until the end of the market. The most important thing is that the strikers who are already here are working really well, improving and helping the team that way. Rasmus HOJLUND is scoring. That's the important thing, says Ruben AMORIM. He is playing well on tour, and that's all we can judge Rasmus for. But it's that line there. That was the important one. I'm really happy with Rasmus. I don't know what is going to happen until the end of the market, alluding to potential movement in the transfer window before the season starts, before the end of the market, before the end of the window, I think he's meaning there, obviously. And this is always going to just now add to the speculation of what we were talking about last night, which was Manchester United offering RB Leipzig the opportunity to take a player in exchange. And the words from Fabrizio Romano were, Rasmus HOJLUND is a dream target for RB Leipzig. So again, United in a position here where I think they're not panicking with the timescale of Benjamin Sesko. I think they have a couple of options open here for Manchester United. I actually do think that they're looking at RB Leipzig now and going, right, okay, and we'll get into that price in a minute, because that was talked about a lot last night. So think about the players that United have got now. Sancho, Malacia, Antony and Garnacho. Now, Rasmus HOJLUND isn't even on that list of players that Manchester United really want rid of this summer. Now, it just depends whether a Leipzig push onto Rasmus HOJLUND onto Manchester United and United are forced. Now, Rasmus HOJLUND will pursue other avenues and is open to moving from Manchester United if the club push on it. But like Larry Whitwell wrote last night after the game, he also said that Rasmus HOJLUND has been given no indication whatsoever that he's leaving Manchester United. United haven't made it any clearer that he's going. At the moment, he's a United player. He's playing well in pre-season and he's preparing for the season. That's it. That's where we stand. We're just talking about what Romano said last night, in that Leipzig are very interested in Rasmus HOJLUND, and Manchester United are offering Leipzig the chance to actually put a player in exchange for Benjamin Sesko. Now, we don't need to sell players. We spoke about that last night. That was the story coming out from Simon Stone from the BBC, who is over in the States. United don't need to sell to bring Rasmus HOJLUND in. The negotiations now are going to continue. Benjamin Sesko officially has not made his mind up where he's going, and that has been made clear. Although last night I see many reports coming out that Benjamin Sesko has actually said he wants to move to Manchester United. The German media, I've said it in the previous show, have all gone strong on this. They're saying that he has pretty much made his mind up. He's going to United. United, I think, are already in negotiations with Leipzig. Now, David Ornstein also came out last night and said that the price set, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen, that's from David Ornstein, is a €75 million with add-ons. So the fixed 75 million works out about £64 million for Manchester United when you exchange it from euros to pounds, and then they want add-ons on top of that. Now, them add-ons probably won't be easy to get, and that's what United will negotiate in now. But Manchester United do have that option of throwing in a player. Now, that, I think, is where this is completely different. Even if it's not Rasmus HOJLUND, could a Tyrell Malacia go over to RB Leipzig and bring that price down by 10 million? Maybe that could force an 8 to 10 million pound sale on Malacia to Leipzig. Like, they're missing a wide player, obviously. Well, they're not missing a wide player. I was just going to use Harry Simmons there. But do you know what I mean? I'm making an excuse here for him to take him. But United could offer all of these players into Leipzig. They could force the issue here. These players like Antony and Garnacho probably won't want to go there. Rasmus HOJLUND, I'm not too sure. Could United get a better price off Leipzig and say to them, well, we're going to loan you this player? There is so many different options open to Manchester United in this potential transfer. And I think them meetings that we now know have been taking place, them secret meetings that started last Thursday and gone through the weekend, like Romano said, I think Manchester United know that there is potential to make something happen here. Worst case scenario, maybe a couple of players go on loan to Leipzig and Manchester United get a cheaper deal for Benjamin Sesko because of that, and something can happen there. And then United could obviously sell them players on the following season if they've done well at Leipzig. There may be an obligation for Leipzig to take on them players on the loan. Look, I'm thinking of all different situations here, but when it comes down to it, the price. Some people are reporting that the price actually took Manchester United aback, and there was a gasp in the room, apparently some reports were saying, when the price was actually revealed by Leipzig. Now, this is probably where Arsenal fell down with Benjamin Sesko and their discussions with Leipzig. Look, the personal terms are apparently pretty much done. There is no issue at all. They fit in line with where Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo are. And that's been reported last night also on Benjamin Sesko. So from that side of things, we're looking quite comfortable. We're looking very, very secure and happy with that. So no issue. It never really is for United when it comes to personal terms, as we know. It's the structure of this deal now. Manchester United could get that price. Could get to that price and what Leipzig want, but they could spread the cost of the payments for Benjamin Sesko over a number of years and make it easy enough to get. They could spread this over 5 years worth of payments. Don't forget, it depends on what contract Sesko is going to get offered, and you can spread the term of these payments over the lifespan of the player's contract, but it's capped at 5 years. So Manchester United could easily say, right, okay, we will pay you your money that you want and when it's down, but we want to pay this in 4 or 5 years worth of instalments, like we did with Brian Mbeumo, making that easier to fit in with PSR financial fair play. I think United are confident in what they've got in the bank here to at least get through this year, knowing that next year there's obviously more room financially with certain players leaving and wages off the books as well. So there's 2 years in, and this is the plan for Manchester United now going forward. They'll obviously have other younger players that are fully developed. I think they're looking at the potential here of United being able to afford the payments 2 or 3 years down the line easily with what they've got at the football club. And I think they're backing their manager in Ruben to get Manchester United back into the Champions League as well. They have to. We have to be back in the Champions League within the next 2 years. Otherwise, we are really going to be struggling, because that brings you the better sponsorships, that brings you better gate receipts, that brings you better money from UEFA anyway for participating in the Champions League. So I think where we're at right now, to round up Benjamin Sesko, Ruben was asked about Sesko. He jumped across to Rasmus HOJLUND. Rasmus is scoring goals. That's more important. But I don't know what will happen until the end of the market. Last night, we had reports coming out that Benjamin Sesko, even though the British media are saying that he's got to make a decision, Romano's saying he's got to make a decision, others are jumping the gun because they're not as reputable and don't have as much to lose, so aren't being as cautious. But they're coming out and saying that Benjamin Sesko has said yes to Manchester United. It's going to be United. United know the price. It's a little bit high, but also in them reports, Manchester United feel comfortable that they will be able to get this deal in and around 64 million and get it done. If United are at 64 and happy with that, and the same reports are saying that United were taken aback by the price of 69 million, then we're not a million miles away and something can easily be negotiated in here. United, like I said before, would not approach Benjamin Sesko if they did not know the conditions that Leipzig want. So any report about United being a bit shocked, I think they're already in negotiations now, and this is probably moving forward. How quick it moves forward, that all depends on Manchester United, I feel. Do they want him in position for the start of the season? Look, we're back next week from the US tour, and then it is full countdown to the Premier League season. When United return, and we're playing on the 9th of August against Fiorentina, a week on Saturday, that then is a week away from the start of the season. Will we have Benjamin Sesko in the house before the Fiorentina game? All of these questions now. Is it going to be drawn out until the end of the window? Or are Manchester United going to make some serious cutthroat, ruthless decisions now? It may be moving some players out in this deal and then getting the payment structure in place to give Leipzig what they want or near enough and make it happen for them, i.e. make it affordable for United. I think they've already laid it out. They have to have. Because when United have committed to a player, when Ornstein has said, we're in for this player, United are in for that player. And we usually get him. That's been the order of play this transfer window. Cunha, we want Cunha, Ornstein. United are fully on in. Negotiations have started. Brian Mbeumo, Ornstein. United are in. Negotiations are ongoing with the club to make this deal happen. We got Mbeumo. I think now with the discussions, what went on with United's targets, we've gone from the likes of obviously Nicholas Jackson from Nicholas Jackson to Gyökeres to Delap to these two now in Ollie Watkins and Benjamin Sesko. And then last night, Ornstein comes out, United are going for Sesko. That there was the rubber stamp for me. United know that they can get him and they won't give up until they do. Because now the player, again, has come out and said that he wants Manchester United. The big debate now is if there's any players going the opposite way, because I am fully convinced now that Sesko will be a Manchester United player, like I said, going off the order of play. And that, I think, is what the debates are going to be now. I would love it to be Garnacho. Honestly, keep Rasmus HOJLUND at Manchester United and let us have two options up front. That would be fantastic. If Rasmus wants to compete alongside Benjamin Sesko and do what he's doing on tour now and be given that extra chance, I would love him to be a number 2 striker and maybe improve at Manchester United. I actually think if Rasmus stays and Sesko comes in, that Rasmus HOJLUND will get better numbers in less games and not being a first team starter than he did last season. I actually think it will do him the power of good to be a number 2 striker. And I think he will learn so much from it and become that player that we thought Rasmus HOJLUND was going to be at United. But Garnacho leaving United, I would love for that to happen. I really would. And maybe, I don't know. Like, he wants to play in the Premier League. He wants the Champions League. He's going to spit his dummy out of United to try and make that happen. And honestly, the amount of power that players have got these days, I cannot see United forcing Garnacho to Leipzig, although that would be ideal. 50 million off Garnacho, and we'll give you a bit of cash for Benjamin Sesko. For instance, there's 50 million and Alejandro Garnacho, get the job done. It's not going to work like that, but you see where I'm going. United would have thought about it, but Garnacho's not going to go to Leipzig. I just cannot see that move ever materialising at all. He's just a bit of he's a problem for United at the moment. I don't think he's going to go away very easy. And we know that Chelsea are still pushing from the news last night. I think there's going to be a £40 million deal here somewhere along the line for United with Garnacho going to Chelsea. And then it depends what United do with that money. If Garnacho goes to Chelsea for 40 million, there's 100% profit for Manchester United in the bank. That would pretty much rubber stamp Benjamin Sesko without even worrying. But we don't need to sell. Remember that line from last night. Man United don't need to sell a player to bring in Benjamin Sesko or any other player at the moment. And apparently we want 2 or 3 more now, including Benjamin Sesko. It's going to be a busy old 31, 32 days, isn't it? For Man United. A couple more games to play in the middle of all that as well. We've got a lot of excitement around our football club at the moment. Let's get some chats on this and where we're at last night. Predominantly from the news of Rasmus HOJLUND and what Ruben said and Benjamin Sesko. Get your thoughts in on that. We're going to move into other news and obviously the game itself and what happened last night. Patrick Dorgu. Oh, no one will want to talk about this because it's a player that United have bought under Ineos and Ruben AMORIM. But I'm telling you right now, Aiden Heaven and Patrick Dorgu for 26 million, you won't get many people talking about that. It'll just be the waste of money signings that people want to talk about in the media. But Dorgu last night, again, showing real signs of improvement. My God, we are looking like a different team altogether. You can talk about the friendlies and the importance of these games. I'm getting carried away with it now. We're going to get back to Sesko, but you can still see United are a different team. Manny in with a super chat right off the bat. Thank you, mate. What about the unlikely scenario that we grab Sesko and the likely scenario HOJLUND stays? That's got to be a win-win for the club depth. I did just mention that, actually, Manny. Great point, mate. Great minds think alike, my man. I know where you're going, buddy. But yeah, is that not a scenario that can happen? We don't need to sell Rasmus HOJLUND to get Sesko. This has been made clear already. So, if Rasmus HOJLUND keeps improving, then I think United are going to be thinking about keeping him. At the moment, I do think that they would get rid of him in a shot if that was the deal that got Sesko over the line. I do. Because no one's convinced by Rasmus just playing well in pre-season. Let's make that clear. Well done. 2 good performances. Show us another one. Show us another one later on this weekend. And then please do show us another one when we play Fiorentina. And then we're ready to go for the start of the season. United will have to make a decision then. And then obviously, Rasmus, please show us in the season and bag the 15 goals in the Premier League that we really need our striker to do. We'll see. Let's get some more comments in. I agree, Adam, that HOJLUND should stay. We need 2 strikers and you never know. He could improve. He will improve. He will improve as a number 2. And Rasmus HOJLUND will get better if he isn't a number 1 striker at Man United. 100% believe in that because he's young and he hasn't known anything else but just going straight back into that side no matter what the performance. No one has been held accountable at Manchester United for their individual performances for years. Now Ruben has come in and it's changed. There is new rules, there is a new policy, there is a new culture and environment around Manchester United where you have to do more. And we're seeing this already. It's like, right, cut that season off. We know the mistakes that we made and now we're changing everything. And you can see it already. The attitude, the condition of the players. There were people laughing off the fact that people were talking about how lean these players were coming back from pre-season training. Well, they look fitter. At least we've got that moving in the right direction for us. And don't discard the fact that these players have actually gone away with a message in their head from the manager. Make it happen next season. You have to come back a different player. Otherwise, your time at this football club could be over. That, I think, is there ringing in all of the players' ears. Nice gulp of coffee there. Wow, too much, in fact. Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony and Malacia, they can take their pick in terms of players they want. Who would you like to get rid of more? We have got a poll running right now. Do you think Rasmus HOJLUND will stay at United this summer? 65% of you already in that poll. Get voting in that, please, everyone. Have said, yes, Rasmus will stay this season. Andrew Short, he's up. Did you stay up, mate? Dorgu is a player with plenty of potential at just 20. Andrew, you are 100% right. He is actually really showing good signs this pre-season. Was improving towards the back of last season as well. And scored last night. Great forward run in a system where Ruben's wing-backs are key. And he was making them runs in the first game. He was causing Todibo an absolute nightmare against West Ham. And then he tore Bournemouth apart last night as well. And Patrick Dorgu is now stepping forward into the type of player. And this goes into what our recruitment is all about. Ruben has said characteristics in players. There's a reason why United went for Dorgu in January. He was a player that Ruben picked out above everybody else. We got him. He's 20 and he's already improving. And this is what we've got for the future. Already, we could be seeing 2 signings there from Ruben AMORIM. I think his first 2 signings in Heaven and Dorgu are already worth more than what we paid for them. When have we ever been able to say that about any Manchester United transfer? Cunningham and Bumo, the other 2, they're their value anyway. We're not going to lose on them because they're in their prime and we've paid for the best. and we've got the best. And Cunha didn't even play last night. So it was all the Man United's old team from last season, and we still won 4-1 and absolutely looked like a different side altogether. A brilliant performance. It's going to keep you up to date with all the news and headlines, so we're checking on everything that Ruben said last night. Right. Oh yes, this was the one that came out last night. Quickly, before we move into a lot more detail in the game and get more comments from you guys. The news came out last night. Our man on the ground, Sully, was talking. He posted out that Manchester United's so-called bomb squad, as Chris Wheeler described them or labelled them. The bomb squad are expected to be moved to the under-21s dressing room for the rest of the summer when the first team squad returns from the US tour. If they can't be moved on, possibility of reintegration, currently using first team facilities. So, Manchester United's new training ground for the first team opens up when they return from the tour. United are currently in the women's facilities right now, and the women have been moved elsewhere. The academy have their own section. The under-21s have their own part of Carrington. I can tell you this for certain because obviously you know, if you watched the channel a long time, I've been in and around Carrington quite a few times. So the women's section will be opened back up, which is pretty much brand new anyway, and has only been going for about 3 years. So them facilities are where United are at now. The women go back into their facility. The 21s have already got theirs. There is an academy section to the left-hand side where they will go. And the first team will have the brand new complex, which has just been done, £50 million worth of investment into that. And we will see that when the players get back. But the players, the bomb squad players, so Sancho, Garnacho, Malacia and Antony will go to the academy under-21s dressing rooms and facilities. They won't be going into the new section. This has to start hitting them hard now. It's like, God, this is embarrassing. Get me out of here. I think United are doing absolutely everything in their power to try and make these players move on and get them to a point where they know they need to leave Manchester United. This is where we're actually at. So, I just want to round up the first part of the show there for people that are actually just coming in. David Ornstein last night broke the news of, obviously, Manchester United going in for Sesko. He then came out later on and said that RB Leipzig wants €75 million guaranteed for Benjamin Sesko, plus add-ons and a percentage of a sell-on. So they want a 10%, I know it's 15% actually, sell-on clause for Benjamin Sesko. So they're rating the fact. I don't see any real issue in that in terms of a sell-on. They're protecting themselves, and obviously Manchester United are also well aware of this. They've done this with every single player they've sold recently. So €75 million works out to £64 million with add-ons. Add-ons, really, are we that bothered? Because if the player hits them add-ons, it means he's done well, and it means United are successful, and the money's there anyway and earned from them. So we're looking at the base fee here. 64 million down. It's less than what Brian Mbeumo was. So, again, yeah, not Prem proven, and obviously Manchester United feel like that can come down a little bit. They're looking at trying to get this deal done, according to the reports, for around about 64 all in. That's United's price on that one. And the negotiations have started on that. Rasmus HOJLUND could be used as a make-weight, and Ruben was alluding to that last night. He doesn't know what is going to happen from now until the end of the transfer window closing with Rasmus. He's just happy that he's playing well, and that's the most important thing for Manchester United, as it is. All of the players that Manchester United want out of the team, i.e. the famous five, the bomb squad, will not be going into the new training facilities when the squad returns from pre-season. The new training facilities will be for Ruben's first team players only, and then players that are on the out list will go to the under-21s dressing rooms. The women will return to their dressing rooms, which United's first team are currently in now, while the refurb's going on in the main facility. So that's how it's going to be. They're still not going to be reintegrated in. The only chance that these players have got of coming back into Manchester United's first team squad under Ruben AMORIM, according to Sulla, is if they're not sold and they go into the season and have to be reintegrated, because like Ruben said in his press conference the other day, they're Man United players, they're contracted to us, and if nobody buys them at the price that we want, they have to come back. And then they will know that they're never going to play football, or nowhere near enough football, because they're not part of Ruben's squad. And he knows. Hence the words what he said to Garnacho, you better pray you find another team because you won't be playing. Garnacho and Antony have aspirations of playing in the World Cup, don't forget. So they will need to find another club. Otherwise, they're going to be sat in the wings and they're going to be worrying about not playing football. And then on top of that, like yesterday, like we said, just to put it all together and complete it, United don't need to sell to buy Benjamin Sesko. So the thought that these agents might have had for this bomb squad bunch of players of United needing to sell them and then getting cheaper deals that they want because United are desperate, that has been completely scrapped now. And United all of a sudden are okay. In terms of the money that Manchester United have made already this season, just when you break it down, we haven't needed to sell anybody to buy Mbeumo or Matthias Cunha. And if it's the same case with Benjamin Sesko, maybe it's because we made £21 million from sell-on fees and the penalty for Jadon Sancho. We made about 9 to 10 million for the Asia tour, which took us to approximately 30 million quid. And Mike Keegan has come out and also said Manchester United are set to earn approximately 7.5 million from their participation in the Premier League Summer Series. So you could say that that's bringing our money into just under 40 million quid for what we've done so far in the incomings this summer, plus the 17 million in wages that you're going to save from Marcus Rashford. This, I think, tells you exactly where United are at. I think they feel comfortable in what money they've got right now, and they're not desperately trying to sell these players to buy Benjamin Sesko. All of that news pretty much tells you where United are actually at right now, which is, in their eyes, very comfortable. And negotiations are ongoing for Benjamin Sesko. So let's get into more of the chat and see where we're at with everything and everyone's opinions on this. Keep them flooding in, everyone. Would you get rid of Rasmus HOJLUND? Who would you get rid of? Who would you offer to? Who would you offer to Leipzig to make this deal happen? If United were thinking of loaning a player out or selling a player and using them in a Part X for Benjamin Sesko, where would you go? A few more super chats in the house as well. Ant says, playing with some real PhD level bastards now. And you always come up with ones that surprise me, mate. We're ready for Arsenal, says Chris, who's just renewed his membership and at the same time dropped 5 memberships in as well. Andrew, thank you again. You also dropped 5 memberships in, donated them into the channel. Absolutely love that, mate. Andrew is a happy man this morning. Chris, thank you for the renewal also, mate. And to gift them memberships. I love that. I love how we're spreading this all around. You know what's scary about Dorgu? He's only 20, says Ant. Says Manny, sorry. And that, I think, is what everybody's picking up on from last night, because how good were Manchester United again? I mean, you only have to listen to what Iriola said about this. We are very far right now from United. They are a hell of a team. We are very far right now from United. I don't know what that means, but Bournemouth head coach Iriola on his team's pre-season preparation following the 4-1 defeat to Manchester United, basically saying they are far behind Manchester United now, and they are a very, very good team. So Iriola very impressed with what Manchester United did last night. But again, like I said, I don't care. I love the fact that we are looking good in pre-season. It makes such a refreshing change to be going into a season feeling buoyant and confident. Let's not forget, that's 6 goals in 2 games in the summer series. Even if you spread it out over that drab 0-0 draw with Leeds and the chances we should have put away in that game, that's still averaging 2 goals a game for Manchester United so far in pre-season, and unbeaten as well, conceding just 2 goals and a few different goal scorers. Finally, Rasmus HOJLUND on the score sheet last night. Ahmad on the score sheet last night. Congratulations to Ethan Williams coming back from loan. Don't forget, Ethan Williams is a player that Ruben AMORIM was impressed with. Now, he went on loan last season and Ruben not seen him. He was already out on loan. So he's gone. And Manchester United have brought him back, obviously, after his loan spell. And he's come in and Ruben's gone straight away. And this was being reported by United, but it would have been lost with all of the bigger news that's going on. But Ruben went, bang, straight away, tour. It weren't even a discussion. And you've seen the players that Man United have left behind. You've seen the players that Manchester United haven't taken from that academy. You like Ethan Wheatley's, your Harry Amasses, these sorts of players that you would have thought would have featured, who were up there. No, Ethan Williams straight in, got his goal last night. Young Manchester lad, brilliant story. Dorgu's first goal for Manchester United also. Ahmad's on the score sheet, Rasmus is on the score sheet, obviously Bruno from the last game as well. Boom. And we didn't even have Matthias Cunha or Brian Mbeumo playing for us. By the way, Ruben did say both will feature in the Everton game. Unlucky for you, Everton, who are bottom of the table in this summer series anyway. But United will play Everton this weekend in their last game of the tour and then fly back to Manchester. Good luck to Everton. That's all I'll say. Look, they might play better, I don't know. But United right now are buoyant. And United are very, very confident, it would seem, on this tour. Things are clicking. And Ruben is getting what he wants from this squad. Quick one here as well, just bringing up everything as it comes. Like I said, there's a lot of news to dissect and a lot of headlines, but here's a piece from Laurie Whitwell's article that he wrote. It's not impossible that Manchester United can raise the finances for Sesko without HOJLUND leaving, given they could yet recoup significant fees on Alejandro Garnacho and Antony. United could agree a Sesko deal before selling players, so long as it happens before the next year's PSR deadline, which is next June 31st, 2026. This is what I keep telling people. This is what I keep trying to explain. Manchester United will obviously know that they could do deals in January also. And they could save money in January. So United only have to cover the first year's total for Benjamin Sesko to get him in now. United know that Garnacho's going to go. I think they're confident. Garnacho, Antony will both be out of the door. And in this PSR year's cycle and year, like Larry Whitwell says there in his article, United would have easily covered enough money to get Benjamin Sesko through the door. It's simple for United. They have the overdraft facility and they can go over by a certain amount in PSR this summer. But there is a gamble needed by United, I think. They may have to overspend to get back up there. We're already seeing signs with just the players from last season that we're working better and harder, and we're adding Cunha and Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko to that. It's looking incredibly positive for United. And you know what? I would like United to keep Rasmus HOJLUND as a number 2 and have Benjamin Sesko there as well. Somebody mentioned it there. I think it was Ant. I think it was a few other people in the chat. To have the depth, and Manny it was actually, sorry, to have the depth there for Manchester United this summer, like the 10s. Mason Mount, what a ball. And let's not forget, Mason Mount has been fit now for approximately 4 months straight. This is the longest spell in a Man United shirt. Yeah, you can sort of say he's had the summer out as well, but he finished the season available in the last 2 months of the season for Manchester United. He's had the whole summer with no injuries or reoccurrences. He's had the first month of pre-season. He's going into his 5th month of being fully fit and available for Manchester United, Mason Mount. And again, featuring last night, another option. So what I'm saying here, sorry, there was another gulp if you were just listening while there was a silence there. Gulp of coffee in. So looking at it where we're at right now. Last night, Manchester United's team from last season smashed Bournemouth in a pre-season friendly. Whether you think it's a friendly or not, we still beat Bournemouth 4-1. Players now are performing because they know there's competition coming in. You look at Rasmus, you know Sesko's coming in. He knows it. I don't care what anybody says. These players know what's happening. If you're Mason Mount and Ahmad last night playing in a number 10 role, that again is also very, very important to remember in this. And Ruben was talking about this in terms of what was going on with Rasmus, with Amad Diallo. He's got to learn how to play different positions. It's important that we have a left footer in that position as well. We obviously have Brian Mbeumo there. Like the options for Manchester United are scary right now. But Mason Mount, you've still got Xerxes to come back into this side, and Mbeumo to come in, and Sesko to come in. Obviously, we're still waiting for the likes of Alicia to come back in defence. Like Luke Shaw looked sharp last night, playing at the back. There is so many players right now playing for their places. And this comes off the back of what Luke Shaw also said about the environment and how everyone now feels like they are really competing for their place in the side. It's better to improve. Everything is 20 times better than what it was before. There are no more slackers in this Manchester United side, in this team, in this squad. Like, everybody's fighting for positions right now. And players on the fringe and on the cusp that we would have forgotten about because Cunha and Mbeumo are in and Sesko's in. Last night, Mason Mount, Rasmus HOJLUND, starring performances. Bruno leading from the front and his energy in that game. Again, the commitment and intensity in his game. If you're trying to keep up with Bruno Fernandes and that's the standard bearer right there, then these players are going to be going through their limits. But that, I think, brings us. The fact that Ruben said that Matheus Cunha was left out of the side because he's slight fatigued, that there tells you how intense Manchester United are working and what's expected from them from Ruben Amorim. But the fact that Cunha is a little bit fatigued and Mason Mount can step in, or a Amad Diallo can step in to that number 10 role, or a Brian Mbeumo, or a Bruno Fernandes, or a Joshua Zirkzee, and you've got everybody playing on the same level, that there alone tells you that Manchester United are in a completely different place at the moment. And it is going to be competition for places throughout this squad throughout the summer. Now, midfield is obviously clearly where we need to obviously get a few more players in. But again, Manuel Ugarte, Mainu, both playing well. Casemiro steps in. Bruno Fernandes is in that 8 role as well there. There are options there. I still think Manchester United will go out and try and buy another midfielder just to add that security there as well. And like we've seen, like, we don't have to sell players. United are confident that they could recoup some money probably in January if players are not sold this month. United are prepared to let Garnacho, Antony and others sweat. If they're not sold this summer, they will be sold in January. There is a plan. United just have to make it work within this financial year. So when it comes to it, and players get desperate and clubs get desperate, United might actually have a few players waiting around still because they didn't get deals this summer in January, and we could make the money then as well. And maybe even then the player, even if the player goes on loan until the end of the season, like, United do have a lot of options in front of them, and people have always just looked at what United are not doing, and they've always had that negative look. I've said it all along, with a football structure in place, Manchester United are moving in a completely different direction now with Ineos and what people they've brought in there. If you like them or not, United are structured, United are organised, and that plan that Omar Barada said that they have got and they're going to implement looks like it is coming in now. And it's easy to get worried about other teams doing business. We said this last night in the early stages of the window. We need to be prepared. People saying that we're not ready for this pre-season. I've seen plenty of people online talking about that. Well, look, we're unbeaten in pre-season. We've got no injury concerns at all. We've got 2 top class players in, and we are now looking, before this window shuts, to bring in another striker on top of maybe one that's looking at it and trying to improve and is going to be better next season in Rasmus HOJLUND as well. I know there's maybes and buts and ifs all over that statement there, but for people to come out and say that Man United are not ready, that is, for me, that is so wide of the mark, and he's definitely driving the negative narrative onto United. Let's see how we're like. Let's see what we're like against Arsenal in the opening game, of course, but we can only judge on what we're watching right now. And United are on fire. Everything looks good. And the fact that we are fit, we've got no injuries, and everyone's available, on top of the players that are coming in, big positives for United right now. Massive positives. Manny in the super chat says, let's not forget Heaton, great shift and crucial saves. Best keeper we've got. I keep saying it. I've said it all along. He's better than Bainde and Onana. I'd offer Antony to Leipzig. Shaw was almost out today during the match. Shaw's fitness, I think, is probably one that everybody's looking at right now, but he's still not injured. His fitness has to come back. Leon there in the chat, what's happening, mate? Let's be fair to Shaw. Before the leg break, he was one of the best left backs in the world. He has been unlucky. The trajectory of his career, with the trajectory of his career since, he still puts the work in on the pitch when he does play. And Luke Shaw looks a bit slimline, doesn't he, now as well? He looks definitely fitter, or the fittest in terms of look and weight-wise that he's ever looked. Thank you everyone for all of the likes, over 400 already. If you are loving the content and constant updates, please pop a like on that video. We had a really exciting day yesterday and everyone was buzzing. Please keep it going. Hit that subscribe button as well, everybody. Thank you again for all of your support. Get your comments in. Man United, banter era. Who's been here their entire time? Luke Shaw. He is not responsible, of course, but he has been a major part of the problem. Injuries and not being available, priorities of England. Yeah, Luke Shaw's not going to be able to live down a lot of his career with this Man United fan base. I know that. Obviously, we're all frustrated. And the next time Luke Shaw goes down with an injury, we're all going to be saying, here we go again. Here we go again with Luke Shaw. Never available, always injured. I'm past Luke Shaw right now. I'm past thinking that United are ever going to sell him on. He's going to end up finishing out his contract at Manchester United, I think, and leaving on a free. I think that's where it'll be. Look, if someone wants to come in for Luke Shaw at the end of the window, United can get money for him, say that Saudi bid that we was talking about the other week, then let's see what happens. Maybe. But at the moment, Ruben seems to have got everybody on board with what's happening. We've got a pretty big squad. When you look at the centre-back situation at United at the moment, you add Shaw and Mazraoui to that. You've got Maguire and De Ligt, and you've got Yoro and Heaven, and then Leacher all to come in. You've got Kokonkiu signing up as well. The goalkeeper situation needs sorting. We know that for certain. The midfield needs sorting. But if you bring Sesko in, and you've got Sesko, Rasmus, Chido, potentially Xerxes in some occasions as well in there, the 10s were set. Wing backs looking great. You got Dalot and Ahmad on one side. You got Dorgu and Leon on the other side. United, obviously, Dorgu and Dalot can also play either wing. Ahmad can move forward into 10 if necessary as well. There's so many options. The squad is big. We just need to fix that bit of a spine, that the midfield, the attacker and the goalkeeper. You bring that into Man United, and then all of a sudden you're talking about Manchester United then actually being part of or having a squad that can really challenge to try and get up into that top 4. Obviously, it's a big ask. First season back, and United need to do a massive, massive jump this season. But what we need to do is realistically look at this and say United now are probably the best that they've been preparation-wise going into a season in a long, long time. And we have to look at that as a big positive in this as well. And just look at what's being said and talked about, how Ruben's looking at things right now, what Ruben promised us at the end of the season. And we're starting to see this. Nobody would have expected the intensity that Manchester United came with in that game against West Ham or against Bournemouth. In that heat, in them conditions, it's a breath of fresh air to see Manchester United that much on it. And honestly, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the season to start now, just to see if we can actually implement this and bring it through into the season and do it where it matters. That, I think, is massive for Manchester United now. But let's get some more comments in on this. Where are you at with Benjamin Sesko? Please, everyone, get into the chat. Are you selling Rasmus HOJLUND? Don't get carried away because Rasmus scored a goal last night. Nobody cares about pre-season unless you're in pre-season. And that's where we are right now. So me talking positively about United and what's happening right now is all based on us actually being in this moment. Looking ahead to the future, I don't think this season, this form and the way that we're playing right now counts for anything. All it's doing is giving these players a bit more confidence to play Ruben's system. But that pressure is going to go up tenfold when we start that Premier League season. That everybody, I said it last night listening to the radio, and people absolutely with no clue what's going on at United. In fairness to them, some pundits have to cover a lot of teams and don't know the fine and minor details either. But talking about Manchester United needing centre-backs and needing this and needing that, and Ruben is probably going to be sacked by October. It's not going to be the race to Christmas. It's going to be a Halloween for Ruben Amorim. He is going to be sacked by Manchester United and favourite to go first. Like, none of them are looking at this team like we are, because obviously we are fully invested in Manchester United. But everybody is going to be on top of Man United next season, and the pressure on these players is going to be intense. We know this. And Ruben Amorim, we all know what's coming. It's an absolute onslaught if things don't start off well for Manchester United. Let's get some more coming in. Paul says, I wonder how the Ineos crowdfunding is going for the stadium. Maybe they can help with transfers, get Sesko and keep Rasmus. Oh, you can't. No, again, you can't with transfers. I'm afraid that's PSR for you. There is probably money there that United could spend with their ownerships, but they're not allowed to. I think the Glazers would be loving that fact, that they can't spend because of PSR. But again, outside investment for the stadium, that sticks to the stadium. That would bring us revenues, which we could then use in Manchester United's transfer windows. If United could just make this season work and get up there into the Champions League again, this club will absolutely bounce. It will just motor forward. It will. And everybody is scared and is playing Manchester United down because they don't want us to get it right. Because if we get it right, then we are moving. We are moving and moving fast. Because everybody has been miles ahead of us because of the way that we've run. But now we're running properly, like a proper football club. We can start to claw that gap back bit by bit. And I'm telling you now, with no Champions League or European football next season, United have a big advantage over a lot of other clubs. A massive advantage over many clubs fighting for them top 4 spots. And that will start to take its toll on them. And United should be able to take advantage. Minimum is Europa League football for United next season. I've said it now. If we're signing Benjamin Sesko, which it looks like, I can start to give a bit more of a prediction for next season. I think United right now are 5th with our signings and how we're operating right now with no injuries, the way that Ruben's getting into the squad. What I've seen in pre-season, the signings that we've made, what I expect is 5th place for Manchester United next season right now. I actually think if we buy a goalkeeper and a midfielder, United should be expecting to finish in the top 4 because we haven't got Champions League or European football. And I will keep on going at that. Our standards are high. You've seen what happened to Nottingham Forest last season. From relegation fight into the Champions League places and finishing in the Europa League. That's where United need to be next season. And being able to rest these players and do what Ruben's doing now in leaving Cunha out and bringing other players in and making sure everybody's fully fit and ready and we can prepare for every single Premier League game and be absolutely on it. That's the difference this season. One season and one chance for United to catapult themselves back in. I'm telling you, expect more from Manchester United this season. Don't let the standards drop completely because of what we did last season. There is no time and there's no room for letting United off. We need to be up there challenging. I'm telling you now. I know there's a lot of you that will disagree with me in the chat and saying I'm getting ahead of myself again and getting giddy. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I expect a lot from Man United this season. Adam, you predicted top 4 on the show last season. This is what I expected Ruben to be doing, getting more out of these players. But clearly we are that bad that we needed a full half a season, Sean, and then a pre-season to get to that point. So I'm going to track my prediction back from last season and say that I meant this season, mate. Now, yeah, you let me off with that one, Sean, buddy. I expected what's happening now to happen last season, but it looked like it was an impossible task. But Ruben has now started to move pieces into place. I do pick up on conversations like what Omar Barada said and what Ruben and AMORIM both said. Like Manchester United I've learnt a lot from that 6 months. An awful lot. And there is only one way that Manchester United can go forward, and that's by making them ruthless decisions this summer. And it looks like we're at that point now, and we're getting there. Imagine we get 12 points out of the first 5 games. Look, if United beat Arsenal, I would then expect him to beat Fulham and Burnley in the next 2 games, and then we're into the international break, and then that's the first month of the season near enough done. Like, wow, that would be the start that we need. If we can beat Arsenal at Old Trafford, and that's doable on any day. Like, Arsenal are going to come and we could lose that game. Arsenal are a great side, and I would not be surprised if United got their asses handed to them, because Arsenal are fantastic. And the way that they play football, they just can't get the win over the line for the trophy. We know this, but turning up to Old Trafford on the opening day, it's probably a good time to play Arsenal. Still a few players trying to integrate in. United at home, the atmosphere, the upbeat, buoyant sort of environment around United now. We win that and set off the season. Then we go and beat Fulham and Burnley, and that's it then, on to international break. First job done. Points on the board. Then we come back and we play bleeding City, I think, isn't it? It's like, good God. But I think we are prepared. The start of the season is a tough one for United. But if we come out of it, I would say first 8 games of the season, and Manchester United are in and amongst the top. I would say if we're in and amongst the top 8, then I think we're in position to go and attack the league. Like, just to be up there, in and amongst it, I think, after the first 8 games, within the top 8, I think that's the start you'd expect. Because that's the thing, we're going away to Anfield in that. We're away to Chelsea. We're away to Manchester City. Tough games. Arsenal on the opening day. Like, we're playing pretty much all the Champions League teams. The top 4 from last season we've got in the first 8 games of the season. It's not easy. So I think if United are in amongst it, in the top 8, not too far away from the top 4, I think that's it. That's a good start to the season for United, I think. Graham said he's not letting me off. Look, I promised you things and it didn't happen. I was expecting more from my team. So shut up. I'm not bothered. I'm just excited to see United play well again. Allow me to have a moment. I'll forget about it tomorrow. But United played well. We smashed Bournemouth. We deserved the win. We had more possession over them. Iriola's come out and even said we're miles away from where they are. They will catch us up. And when we play them in the Premier League, it will be completely different. I'm not stupid. I know it. But I'm here. I'm in pre-season. I've got my purple kit on. And I'm just enjoying this day because United are looking like they're moving in the right direction in the transfer market. And pre-season is going as well as I've seen it for years. And I just think we look a different football club at the moment. So allow me to have that. Try and argue against that if you want. I will always beat you. I'm convinced of it because we're unbeaten in pre-season. We're averaging 3 goals a game. We're going to win the Premier League Summer Series and get money from that. We're in for Benjamin Sesko. We don't need to sell players. We're buying players we really need, and we're looking at it properly as a football club. And players I thought that didn't stand the chance are starting to stand up. In pre-season, yes, I know, and it's still not the season, but still, like, I'm happy right now in this moment on the 31st of July, and nobody's going to change my mind otherwise. More to come, and the next episodes will change and be more dramatic. I know they will, but I'm enjoying it now, and that's, as a United fan, what I wanted to see. I can't really ask for much more from pre-season. I can't, and I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man. No, I'm not going to start singing that song in its full. But get some more comments in, please, everyone. Is anybody else feeling upbeat? Is it just me? Pre-season games all season. Adam, I wish. Thanks for that, Buffalo. Yomas says Benjamin says Fabregas should come to Manchester United. Can't remember the last time United lost the opening game at home. Have they ever in the Premier League? I don't think we've ever lost a game in the Premier League era at home if it was an opening game at home on the opening day. I don't think we've ever. I can think of away games, obviously. The Premier League's first ever. Sheffield United, Bramall Lane, Villa Park. You don't win anything with kids. There have been plenty of poor starts for Manchester United. I can't remember one at home. A draw against Arsenal is a good result, by the way. Midfield still needs sorting. No, I think we will bring a midfielder in. I do. Leon says, absolutely upbeat. It is great to see us running a lot better than previously. That's it. That's what we're looking at. We're seeing these players from last season do more as well. Look, we'll wrap things up there, everybody. The show has gone well over 50 minutes there. God, time flies when you're a happy man. And football is going well, doesn't it? Let's check the polls, just to go back on the top story. Do you think Rasmus HOJLUND will stay at Manchester United this summer? The reports last night were that there is the potential Rasmus going the opposite way and Sesko coming to United, Rasmus to RB Leipzig. But Rasmus scored last night. Ruben came out and said he's uncertain what's going to happen up until the end of this transfer window yet. So let's see. A hint that Rasmus might be leaving. We will see how that develops. Manchester United don't need to sell players. They can sell players later down the line this season. Sesko's deal is being negotiated now. He's agreed he wants Manchester United. We'll get confirmation of that in the next 2 days. And obviously, United are playing well on pre-season tour and everybody's happy. Get your comments in when this video finishes its live, everybody. Please do get your votes in on that poll just in the last few seconds to round us up to 2,000 votes. That would be great. But 61% of you think Rasmus will still be a United player by the end of this transfer window. Give the video a like, people. Let's get that upwards as well. We've already smashed over the 500 like mark. Thank you to all the new members and donated members. Thank you to all the new subscribers that have come on while we've been on the show. Everyone who's liked the video. The mods for helping out in there as well. Thank you. Right at the end there, Glenn with a super chat says, "Oh, Sunday, everybody will be singing Premier League Hushed Voice Summer Series Champions." Yes, United are going to win the Summer Series this weekend. I think they've already won it. I don't think there's any way that anyone can get back at us. If it goes off head-to-head anyway, United have won it, which I think it is. So, yeah, trophy in the bag, people. We're starting off the season with a bang. Cheers for the Super Chats. Thank you, Glenn, there at the end. Manny and Al, of course, as well. Gifted memberships from Chris and Andrew. Cheers, everyone. I'll see you later on. I'll keep you fully updated, as always, with anything that changes throughout the day. Make sure you hit the subscribe